Alright, Foster Gamer, we back. That's how I had to quickly do this so I don't forget anything. Alright. And like always, brought the four local out so we can enjoy ourselves while we solve this mystery. Sour apple, four local. Alright, what I write on this notepad? Craig and Alley. Bet. Alright. Alley.
Natalie. Natalie sounds familiar, but no.
Interesting.
He trying so hard. Like the one thing with this headset, man. They do not make headsets for guys with big heads like me, yo.
Tell us more about the area. Maybe something we're not thinking about. The neighborhood? The house? Do you happen to see anyone else out on your walk?
No. The street is more or less empty of people now. Everyone's away. All but maybe 3 of the houses are empty. But yes, the houses have an interesting history. Well, it's not the houses' histories, per se. The houses in the area are quite average by today's standards and typical of other neighborhoods here. They're small houses, quaint, but do is just fun. The land is important, as you know. Why I talk of values. The neighborhood was built at the turn of the century. Oh, the last century. And before that, it was farmlands. Settlers, homesteaders, like I mentioned, came from all across Europe. My grandmother and my father owned that tract of land from the top of the hill, where the neighborhood is now, all around Dangling Rock and right down to the bay past Ascension Point. About 150 years ago, he began selling off parcels there to farmers and others, and eventually then to develop neighborhoods. My house is the last of the original farmhouses, still standing strong. The Morgans and the Bergstroms all still have original houses right on our same street. And although their houses happened to be built a few years later on property my family sold off. My grandfather didn't have much land left by the time he sold the area their houses are now, but most of the land went to the Bergstrom family, who'd already become wealthy because of the timber trade on the peninsula. Such a different time. How families can rise and fall from grace. The Bergstroms are all gone now, apart from their daughter, Natalie. Oh, and the Morgans had their daughter, Alana, and relatives across the country, and daughter now, apart from...
Trying to make sure I spell the name right. That's like the one thing. Yeah, the Dinkelbergs.
From their daughter, Natalie. Oh, and the Morgans had their daughter, Alana, and relatives across the country, I believe.
You seem quite proud to live where you do.
I feel a certain connection to it. I've always taken care of it.
Every place needs a caretaker.
Oh, yes. I am the caretaker. All the way from Ascension Point on down.
What we got? I like how y'all blurred out this map. Like, bruh.
What was your relationship like with the Morgans?
I was close to the parents. Craig's parents. Alana's grandparents. Before they passed on. I get along great with Craig and Alana and his current wife.
Current wife?
Claire?
Oh, thanks.
Yeah, they're fine. They come and stay for a weekend or week here and there, and that's about it. It's their vacation home now. Their main residence is back in the city. But I'm not sure how often they'll come here in the future.
I couldn't imagine living in a place where something like that happened to my family.
Yes, that. And they had been fighting recently also.
Things weren't going well with them.
No, sadly not.
Anything you can help us with?
Well, I'm not one to gossip, but that hussy down the block seemed to spend an awful amount of time there when Mrs. Morgan was away.
So you think they were commingling?
Perhaps.
And this is who? Natalie Bergstrom, your neighbor.
Yes, we go way back. So, you do know.
Well, we hear things time to time.
Oh, wow.
You know, our families were good friends in the past. First one's on the land, but only she survived, and everyone in the neighborhood knows what she gets up to. Her husband died and left her considerably more well off, so she thinks she can do as she pleases. I tried to stay away from all the details, but I know how people like to gossip.
Well, let's see if we can get someone to find Natalie Bergstrom. Might have some additional info.
Oh, I already did now. Um,
What was your relationship like with the Morgans?
right. The
I was
Morgans.
close to the parents. Craig's parents. And his current.
And farmlands. So let's try farmlands next.
The victims in the living room, or at least from what was discernible, possibly indicated someone had mutilated the bodies while they were living, or as corpses. There were remains, blood, everything strewn about the whole room, aside from two of them. The photos show exactly what we came across. I just can't imagine why or how they could have ended up that way. Unclear if there was a struggle in the room at this point. It looks like the window glass was shattered or blown out too. The preliminary timeline is being formulated.
Wait, Do you think someone shattered the windows from the inside, or something blew up inside the room, killing them?
Deliberate shattering seems unlikely, but we can't rule anything out. Maybe an explosion went off. Sure. I don't know.
Maybe there was a gas leak in the house, but fire damage was minimal, maybe from the candles. There were knife wounds and gashes too, so someone must have done that to them up close and personal.
Yeah. I guess we just don't know yet. Honestly, the house looked perfectly fine in some ways. Probably how it looked before the attack, and other areas look like complete war zones. It seems like it could have been some psychotic.
Or personal grudge,
And it's not like we noticed anything obviously missing.
or could have been a robbery.
I mean, there's still debate amongst the officers about how this whole thing could have happened. You know, the timeline.
What even happened?
The basic logistics, how the killer did all of that to all of them.
Or killers.
Yeah. Alright, so now being tipsy's already kicking at me now. Cause I forgot what he
Honestly,
was
the
saying.
house looked perfectly fine in some ways. Probably how it looked before the attack. It could have been some.
Grudge.
Personal.
Okay, I remember now. It was Grudge. Hmm.
What was your relationship like with the Morgans?
I was close to the parents. Craig's.
Alright, so that's the case. When doubt, retrace your steps. Heather. Bingo.
One of the victims, the survivor, she was named Heather. I think I knew a Heather growing up. I can't remember though.
This man is funny bad.
Yes, Heather, young thing. Came into the store once with her friends.
Anything else you can tell us?
No.
Oh wow. So I think I know a Heather growing up. Alright. I guess we'll go with Greg Sims first then.
Victim's name is Greg Sims, a junior at Western. Besides Heather, he was the only one intact. Honestly, when I turned him over, his face was horrific. I'll never forget it. It was his expression. He looked terrified, beyond recognition. Next to him, there were a couple gash marks going into the floor. We don't know from what. Like I said, we didn't see any visible markings on him. Definitely not like the rest of the victims.
Actually, looking over the autopsy results, it says he died of massive pulmonary failure leading to heart failure.
So he asphyxiated? Couldn't breathe?
Yeah, but no indication of strangling was found on him or anything restricting his airflow.
So he choked to death on nothing. How's that possible?
I don't know. You said he looked scared?
It was his expression. Can you die from being scared?
Ooh, yeah. They say, okay, so y'all probably wondering why I said yeah to that. They say, like, depending on how far you jump off of, like, a building, like, you could have a heart attack and shit like that. We're considering people skydive all the time. So it's like, Western.
We've notified the school of the deaths, yes. They said that they were extremely sad to hear the news, and no doubt the student body will be too. I expect memorials, candlelight vigils, news spreads, the whole works. It's already all over the network stations.
Jeez.
Yeah. The three-ring circus is definitely starting.
Cool. Oh yeah, if y'all rating or let me refresh the chat. But if y'all rating like on Twitch or whatever, you gotta let me know because I can't see raids on the restream chat, which they kind of still need to work on. All right, so that's Greg out the way. Who's next? Emily Thomas, I guess. Usually, I prefer to get the guys out the way because they usually have like the least info. Like in some of these cases, I don't know why for whatever reason, but like stereotypically, like they have it like with these type of mysteries and shit, they always have it set up to where like the girl like always has like so much going on within like that murder story and shit, and you be like, damn, well she did all this shit prior. Like I was just watching like a series about that shit, and it was a pretty okay series. I mean, it had a few scenes where you kind of just was like, like it had a few skippable scenes for me personally that I ended up having to skip. But to each his own and to each his respected, of course. But it's like, yeah, I was just like, yo, fam, I'm not trying to be watching. I ain't trying to be watching this like constantly. Oh, her name was Emily, right? Okay, I guess we'll try her last name. Like, we're Tomas. And Brian Watson, alright. Bet. Also, Whiskey, you always in time for games like these, I swear. Like, you always be catching me on these type of games. Oh, I got that one game you was telling me about. It ended up being on the PlayStation Plus thing for free. So I got that, so best believe that's gonna be a thing. I hope you're doing good though. Shout out to Gaming with Whiskey. She in the live chat. Alright. So none on Brian. So I guess Elena then. Or I guess I've been through these already. I don't remember. I'll be drinking at the time. Hmm. Doing well. I have quite a few of these type of games. Facts. Trying to figure out how I'm going to proceed with this now. Cause it seems like I finally done ran out of. Seems like I finally ran out of words, huh?
What was your relationship like with the Morgans?
Actually, did I try his amnesia? Let me. How you spell amnesia? Yeah. Okay, so I tried that, and he's anemic as well. So, yeah. Thanks, whiskey. And he's anemic. I'm trying anemic. Anemic. There we go. Or maybe it's gotta be like the basic word. So anem. Yeah. And it didn't work. Try his brother. Nope, I didn't do his brother yet. Okay, I mean pause on that. But
You never talk about your piece. Like I said, you don't know much about your background.
you know what's crazy, whiskey? I think these are the same folks, yo, that probably did that game. Like I get that type of vibe from them.
You never talk about your piece. Like I said, you don't know much about your background.
So not much in the way of family anymore. All of me and my brother on the East Coast died out. My marriage ended a long time ago. My niece Jessie was 19 when she passed on. Lived here in town at the time. Well, stayed around here at least. It's been 15 Octobers since she died. Yeah, there was a house party, a fire. That's all it took. Only one who died there. God rest her soul.
Sorry to hear that.
Yeah, it was all over the news back then. You probably heard about it.
We have a really big shit going along, so I'm sorry to hear that.
Just watch your kids run with. Or safe anymore.
What we got here? This was accidental. But once again, my detective work has led me into some shit. Young Burns victim, and I forgot to use the word Burns. Let me make sure I got that noted. Young Burns victim succumbs to injuries. Port Landsend. Jesse Abrams, 19, of no fixed address, died yesterday. She was a coma at St. Michael's Hospital. That's another name, St. Michael's Hospital, or I'll just probably put hospital. Following 3 weeks in the ICU Burns unit, she survived by her family on the east. She is survived by her family on the East Coast. She was one of several victims of a deadly house fire on the city's west side on October 30th. Mark Thomas. Oh, no, I haven't. Yeah, I'm still actually reading the thing. So, fire victim. The other victims escaped with minor to severe injury. Wait, Thomas. Wait, you said Thomas, was he? As in, Emily Thomas. Wait, that's her brother? Holy shit. Whiskey for the win. My God. Okay, she's just a great kid. She's a long-time friend. She didn't deserve to go out like that. Okay, so we got Hospital and Mark Thomas. Bet. Mark and Hospital. Yeah, but y'all see how quick Whiskey caught to that? I was like, wait, I said like Emily Thomas? Oh my God.
Where was I? Well, since when did I become a suspect?
Well, I just think it's better to get this all down on paper while you're here. At this point, I feel like anybody could be a suspect. Might as well chase down all possible leads.
I suppose you're right. I'll remind you, however, that I said I never met these kids. I wanted to here to give my deposition and I'm
Same.
not a suspect. But I'll entertain your question.
Same, Whiskey. I like these games.
And I honor my duties as a law enforcement professional. Last night I was at home, in bed after a long day.
Alone, right? You're not married, correct? Realized all this time we've been on the force together. I don't know much about your home life.
Where he got on his what's that game now? Elden Ring. He was like, he's like, you made a list. Like, right? Look how mad you get when he asks that question.
You're not married, correct? Realized all this time we've been on the force together. I don't know much about your home life. You know, I've got 2 kids, and I'm married. You never wanted that? To settle down, I guess?
I was married once, briefly. But no, I suppose I never really found the right woman. I was too focused on my work. The hours here just don't allow for much of a social life. I like to keep a routine. There aren't many eligible women here I like in town anyway. And to answer your question, of course, I was alone.
Damn, yeah, this feelings.
So we just got the email records and phone records from your house and theirs. Your alibi checks out. Looks like you did email your brother the night of the crime.
Good work.
Although that can be faked, but I'll cross you off the list here. If my pen works.
Not sure what you're crossing off since the list is digital, but here, use mine.
God, what the hell was that? Got shocked.
You okay there?
Well, it felt a little funny. Almost like electric shock.
Weird.
I just hope it's safe in here with all the faulty wiring and whatnot. It went through the table.
Huh? Wait, what? It went through the table. Oh, hey, look, it's Kaylee. I find she got a whole picture. Like, bro, they did not want to just. It just says the roof. Identifies. It's like, hey guys, it's Kaylee. How's it going? No, Kaylee, same old, same old. Hope your investigation is going good. Andy and IT wants to connect right now. Hello, fam. Why is you using? Wait, what year is this? She going ham with the text to speak. Says he's got an update for you. Is it okay if he logs on? Sure, go ahead, put him through. Hey, this is Andy from tech support. Hey everyone. So I wanted to give you an update on the technical errors you've been experiencing. We talking to the third party vendor looking after the servers and saying that the traffic initiate from our side. But for some reason, the requests aren't going through all the way on their ends. They're working on it now. I'll provide an update shortly. Or like, this is Andy from IT.
Well, I guess the follow-up that we're trained to ask is, can anybody corroborate that you were alone last night?
If you're implying that I might be lying about being home, then I suppose you could go to the phone company and triangulate my cell phone signal that night. I was home. Don't think anyone saw me come home, and I didn't talk to anyone, so no.
No, it's okay. Just going down the list of things I need to cross off.
Oh, I also sent an email to my brother in Connecticut right before I went to bed from my house.
When was that?
11 or 12?
Okay. Well, we will have to double check on that, and we will get those phone records so that we can cross you off the list of potential suspects.
Sure.
What was the long day you had?
I just had a lot of errands to run around town.
Patrol stuff?
Yeah, patrol stuff.
We don't have you listed as responding to any calls. Anything noteworthy happen? Not that we get many, but did anything noteworthy happen?
Not really, no.
Just busy?
Yeah.
But yes, whiskey I've been drinking. I guess we'll do Mark Thomas first. Or not. Alright, hospital. Hospital. Oh. Is that a third party vendor? Oh. I don't think I did the pawn shop. Then the It's like I'm finally stumped here. Burns. Word.
What? So I have some scars. People go through different things. We're all survivors. We all have our scars.
You think you were in a fire at some point?
And how many times? More like a pyromaniac or something. Some of those look pretty fresh, too.
Do you mind if we take some photos of your scars?
Kaylee already got a photo of that, actually. From the exam. That's part of it. And by the way, guess where else there was a fire? The house. A small one, but still a fire nonetheless.
You think it has something to do with the electrical storm we had last night?
Yeah, that was weird. Cleared out the remnants of the festival in town pretty quick, though.
Festival. Okay, so festival. I see me, I'm going to work with this.
Tell us some more. Those scars look intense. Remember ever being whipped before? You don't remember a single fire, right?
I don't know.
Does it hurt right now?
I mean, not really. I don't feel anything too different.
Still look fresh, too. Almost like you spent way too much time in the sun. Or were around something really hot. Our crime scene's got a little bit of evidence of a fire. It does make you think.
So far we have this guy named Caleb who has amnesia. And he's their prime suspect. Because not only was apparently he was spotted by Ruth, who's this old lady that lives there, but he seems to have like marks and all this other stuff that kind of go with it. They're trying to set it up to be him, but I think it's low key might be the lieutenant. And he was the one who was like who investigated the whole thing. But he just seems so suspicious about the shit. And as you heard like earlier, he has no alibi, so it's a possibility. And then Ruth's the old lady, she seen the dude. But she probably is more than likely innocent just off of the fact that it's like ain't no way she bodying like 4 to 5 people. Ain't no way. She too old. She was not bodying them. Here we go. And looks like we got one more after that one, so.
So we did find some burnt material at the scenes that we're looking into right now. Couldn't tell what it was at first. You know anything about that?
No.
Right. Helpful. Truthful as always.
One thing you have to remember with this case, and something I really don't like about this suspect, is how evasive he is the whole time. Unfortunately, it's a reoccurring theme in the case. Complicated things for you. He did a short bid for perjury immediately after this, however, at the request of the PLPD. So they got him for perjury. Say no more.
Could the fire have been put out by someone? Or why don't you think the whole room caught fire? Maybe Heather did it before she passed out.
I suppose it's possible. She was kind of injured.
True. That is true.
Yeah, we still need like 2 more suspects though. I'm spelling perjury right? Or is it PER jury for? Oh, it's perjury. Block of that. Nope. See, what else do I got here? Oh, he got a whole niece.
You've got a tattoo. I never knew you had a tattoo.
Yeah, I've got a couple.
I've got an anchor tattoo from when I was in the Merchant Marines. It's a different time in my life. Been thinking about getting it removed, but I don't know. I guess it's not hurting anything.
What you thinking?
What's yours of?
I have a few reminders of my past, my values.
Can you show me it?
I don't really like to show them off.
Oh, come on. Show me the one on your arm, at least.
All right, sure, you can see it. It's a reminder of something special to me, my loss. My niece Jessie, I always called her my Raven because the day we saw one together at the park when she was younger, she thought they were so cool and wanted to be friends with it. It didn't even fly away, and it actually let her touch it. Now when I see one, they remind me of her. I don't always like the reminders, but it does keep me vigilant. You know, the youth, they don't know what life is really, well, where their fate's going to take them. They're easily led by different this and that, and whatever they see on TV or on their phones, false prophets, whatever. She was partial into this stuff, and that's all it took. And she died. I can only respond with doing my duty every day to help others not fall down the same path.
Wow. It's nice. And everybody thanks you for your service.
Someone's got to get rid of the undesirable aspects. We need standards in the world. There are right ways and wrong ways to go through it.
Yeah, right. I agree. What about the other one on your arm?
You want to see that too? It's also a bird. A different bird.
Two?
Yeah. This one's a bird of prey. An eagle. I don't really want to talk about this one. Just something else that means something to me.
No problem. It looks pretty cool.
I don't want to have what happened to my niece repeat itself.
Right. It's understandable.
Well, what's good, Johnny? Shout out to my homie Johnny in the live chat. That's my brother right there, God.
I think most people in this town would agree with you, though.
Most people?
Yeah, most people in this town seem to look after each other. Sure, there's a couple of bad apples, and that's why what happened on the street is so crazy. Virtually no problems, and then that. The neighbors, the whole town, they're gonna need some time to get over this, for sure. Do you know if any other witnesses, neighbors saw anything?
Not that I know of.
So just the one witness.
Yeah.
What's her name?
Ruth. Ruth Forsbrand.
Okay. I don't know. I'm so good at this. This is, bro. I had a feel. I was like, bro, y'all not just showing me this just to show me this. Bet.
Oh, well, this town's been a time bomb for as long as I can remember. Not even surprised this has happened. Remember the looting in 52? 1952? That wasn't that long ago.
Yep.
I never could figure out who really was behind it all.
Tattoo.
Not like there were cameras around back then. Or the Orlando Jackson killing in 81. The weird stuff up on the rock. The list goes on. Bunch of loonies run around all over the place if you ask me.
Oh, I don't know. I don't think Port Landsend is that bad. Come on.
How long have you lived here? This town is unique.
It's a blue-collar town, a vacation town. I'm sure every town has its dark spots here and there, or a secret.
Whatever you say.
But yeah, whiskey. I typed in tattoo.
So, we still don't have any theory about the explosion, as far as what might have caused a small amount of burning, right?
Right. We just found a couple of candles, and that's it. Fire damage isn't located near all of the candles necessarily.
Any idea what that means?
Well, if the candles cause a fire damage, you'd expect wax, part of the wick nearby, for example. Burn traces. We don't have that here.
It's weird. And no evidence of anything that could have exploded either.
Yeah, no chemical residue, nothing.
Just an explosion out of midair, like a shockwave.
So let's see, explosion and Jesse, I guess.
Did you go through the explosives response course in your training when you joined the force?
Yeah, I did. Became mandatory around that time. We had all those terrorist things going on overseas.
Did you apply any of that training here?
There's nothing to work with here.
Yeah, I guess 2 of the victims seemed unaffected by any explosion. Did they teach you the basics of explosion compounds and household chemicals? Where did you do your training anyway?
Other side of the peninsula, Aberdeen. Yeah, they taught us all that. It's similar to the training you probably got, just a little more basic back then. Look, I like all the lines of questioning, I really do, but I didn't blow those kids up, if that's what you're wondering.
Alright. I'm pretty sure I did though. Let me try again. Natalie. Yeah, I got all those. Those are done. Alright. So Jesse is the next one, I think. Nope. And there you go. The bird is the word. Oh. Let's see if something pops up under like his wife. Wife. Oh.
Alright, so let's go through your stuff. We've got a receipt here from Denny's for a pawn shop ticket from Seattle last month. No name on there. Remember being in Seattle? No? Okay. Looks like you pawned a tablet. Is it yours?
Oh.
A lot of computing.
Did I try Minnesota? Cause Caleb's from Minnesota. In Connecticut. I misspelled the shit out of that, fam. Alright. So I tried those. Did a bit. Wait, it's Abrams? The last name is Abrams. Okay. That lamp or we could do candle. Alright, let's trace our steps a tiny bit back here.
Okay. Talk us. Sidewalk is the house?
Yes.
And what made you look at the house?
I don't know really. Actually, no, I didn't look at the house.
You didn't look at the house.
No, it was Ken who looked first.
Your dog?
Correct.
Yeah, I tried those. I even tried her dog.
Okay, so your dog looks. Any particular reason why? Was there a noise or?
I don't know.
Okay, fine. So, what's going on at the house? What do you see?
I saw a very messy yard. And to be honest, a very messy house. Very unkempt, shameful. Now, when Mr. and Mrs. Morgan lived there originally, it was beautiful.
Hmm.
The face looked rather pale. Sad looking, perhaps. Pretty. Possibly young. It was only for a second. I was far away, though, and didn't get a good look. Didn't want to stare and be rude.
Did they see you?
I think so. Actually, no, I'm not sure. They didn't move much.
And which window was this?
It was upstairs. The front bedroom, I think.
Oh, it was female then, or a male?
Oh, well, you can never tell for sure these days. Female, I think. Fair in their complexion. Wait. No. Perhaps a male.
All right. So, anything else about them that we should know? How about their hair color, their hair length?
I see. Anything particular out of the ordinary. Long hair, moving, rather stagnant. A long gaze. Then that boy in the purple wool hat and the black shirt, he walked around to the side. Now, he looked homeless, confused. When I looked back up to the window, that face was gone.
And you know what, Whiskey? I think you're right. If I trace my steps back, I'll figure some shit out. So we'll go back. And then just in case, side of the house, I'm gonna have that in mind too.
Yes, Heather, young thing. Came into the store once with her friends.
Anything else you can tell us?
No.
The victims in the living room, or at least from what was discernible, possibly indicated someone had mutilated the bodies while they were living, or as corpses. There were remains, blood, everything strewn about the whole room, aside from two of them. The photos show exactly what we came across. I just can't imagine why or how they could have ended up that way. Unclear if there was a struggle in the room at this point. It looks like the window glass was shattered or blown out too. The preliminary timeline is being formulated.
Wait, do you think someone shattered the windows from the inside, or something blew up inside the room, killing them?
Deliberate shattering seems unlikely, but we can't rule anything out. Maybe an explosion went off. Sure. I don't know.
Maybe there was a gas leak in the house, but fire damage was minimal, maybe from the candles. There were knife wounds and gashes too, so someone must have done that to them up close and personal.
Yeah. I guess we just don't know yet.
Alright, so just off of that, I drew a couple different things. So shout out to Whiskey for that. Like, I probably wouldn't have thought about that. Corpse. I don't know, to be honest. It would have had to been when they had got him. They didn't put a date on this shit.
New tonight, shocking news coming out of Port Landsend. The bodies of 4 deceased Western Washington students have been found in a house on the town's east side, with reports of a single survivor being rushed to St. Michael's Hospital this morning. Authorities aren't releasing any details on what may have caused the deaths in this otherwise sleepy vacation community, but anonymous sources described it as one of the most horrific crime scenes they've ever come across. All we know about the survivor is that she's a female in her 20s, in critical condition, with her wounds being listed as egregious by local paramedics. More on this story as it develops.
Vacation's all I ever wanted. Vacation. Let me check. It was Heather. Heather was the survivor of Whiskey. Died. Yeah. Nope. Hold on, there's 2 V's in Survivor? Yeah, I got that. Alright.
I think we'll have to ask you to work with our team and try to come up with a sketch of the face you saw in the window, if you don't mind.
Exist. I'm not sure I'll be able to.
For our session here.
Mm-hmm.
The face looked rather pale.
Wait. Nope. $11,112. So then this would have had to been the day after, right? Or the day before? Wait, what was the final date on that? That's 2012. Alright. So that's November. Oh, wait, whiskey. They arrested homie on the 31st of October. That was on the 31st, so 10, 2012. Okay, so that did nothing. But what about Caleb?
I told you, I remember walking in the woods for a long time. All I remember is walking. Walking. Endless walking. I don't remember camping. If I was with anyone, nothing else besides walking in the hours before I met you.
Look, I really just want to go. I need to get back out there on the road. I'm sure things will come back to me. I'm fine. Everything's fine.
Yeah, hi. Can we talk for a minute, please?
All you said was he's being evasive. Evasive, like. Oh wait, look at this.
Did you ever have a young guy named Caleb come to your store, or know anyone in town with that name?
No. I don't think so. I get a lot of people in my shop that were very busy.
He likely shares similar interests as yourself.
But we don't all know each other.
No?
No.
How about a guy named Colby?
No, I don't think so.
No.
No. Should I?
I just realized she has a store. Whoops.
My house is just down the road and up the way from Main Street and my shop. Very convenient. You must know it.
This is the Circle's Glow?
Yes, that's my shop. Another thing I like about our little town. Everyone knows everyone. Some more than others. I saw the kids playing a game in the yard a few days ago when I was coming home. Drinking what looked like inebriates. They were in red cups, so I couldn't tell exactly. Friendly. I said good day to them as I walked by. I wish they had used that energy to do some yard work or clean up the yard. Disgraceful state, that house.
Sorry, were these the victims you saw a few days ago?
Yes, Alana was with them.
About how many days would you say that was?
About a week ago, last weekend.
Okay, you said kids. Just making sure we're on the same page here and establishing a timeline.
When you said that some people know other people in the neighborhood more than others, what do you mean by that?
I see a lot of people come and go, going about their busy lives, commingling. We're not that old-fashioned out here.
Well, anything we should know about? Anything that would worry us?
No, nothing to concern yourselves about.
Yeah, you know what's crazy? That didn't pop up before.
Yes, my store is
That was because I didn't have. Yeah, so I need to start trying these names again. Bet.
located near the house.
Whiskey for the win again.
Young adults. They got intrigued by my humble store, just like anyone else who visits the town. They asked me to give them the manuscripts with ancient legends and myths of the area, saying they needed it for their schoolwork. Of course, I helped them. They're on the rack near the door. Mass-produced reprints I had printed specially. They looked like the usual tourist types, after all.
Good work. Yeah, because that's one thing I'm not putting into account is that I'm getting new people, so what probably didn't work before works now, type of thing. So, Jerry. Let's try Terry. And Weekend. Where is... Missing person? Fly. September 01. Wait, so he didn't have marks at the time, but now he's all marked up. 1950. That's a 1950. 19. He look old as shit. 1995. And I didn't try Pennsylvania yet either. Yeah. It was for his family car. It was like something for the engine or some bullshit. And then he disappeared. This I'm spelling disappear. This Thanks, Whiskey. Nope. Alright. Yo, Whiskey was seeing me struggling, yo. She like, yo, is he gonna type the word in or what? Guess we could try Mini Tonka. Oh.
Colby Bell? Maybe it's a nickname.
Well, let me tell you a little bit about what we know about Colby Bell. Our records indicate a Colby Joseph Bell went missing in Minnetonka, Minnesota in 1995 when he was 19 years old. His family filed a missing persons report a day after Colby had a fight with his brother over a car engine in front of the family's home. Colby walked out of the front door without his shoes on and was never seen by them again. Colby is described as suffering from bipolar disorder, psychomotor agitation, with the note uncontrollable motor skills.
Nope. Alright, I was just checking. Cause I was like, yo, I did not remember doing bipolar.
Psychomotor agitation, with the note uncontrollable motor skills often seen in the hands, catatonia, geez, are you on benzos? And mood disorders, for which he was all.
Yeah, they didn't give me much for
Victim's
him.
name is Greg Sims, a junior at Western. Besides Heather, he was the only one intact. Honestly, when I turned him.
Okay, just checking.
Victim's name is Greg Sims. When I turned him over, his face was horrific. I'll never forget it. It was his expression. He looked terrified, beyond recognition. Next to him, there were a couple gash marks going into the floor. We don't No, from what? Like I said, we didn't see any visible markings on him. Definitely not like the rest of the victims.
Actually, looking over the autopsy results, it says he died of massive pulmonary failure leading to heart failure.
So he is asphyxiated? Couldn't breathe?
Yeah, but no indication of strangling was found on him or anything restricting his airflow.
So he choked to death on nothing. How's that possible?
I don't know. You said he looked scared?
It was his expression. Can you die from being scared?
His autopsy. Choke. I'm looking now. X. How you spell it? Asphyxiation. Here we go. Okay, my phone. Why does my phone just know how to spell that? Like I didn't have to do no extra typing. I think my phone's trying to kill me. I was just like ASP. They like yo asphyxiation. I'm like what? Asphyxiated. Right. Cut. I think I'm overthinking. I'm overthinking shit. Alright, so let's look at the crime scene here. Is this a garage? You got the kitchen. You know what? I didn't try all these rooms. I tried living room, but I didn't try hall. I didn't try front room. I didn't try front porch. Did I even do house?
Yeah. I don't remember being at that house ever.
Why did I have a feeling you would say that?
That's Alana Morgan's house, where the killings took place.
Seems like a nice house. Or was at some point.
The Morgans are on their way out here from the city. They're devastated, as expected.
Yeah, I can't imagine what the driver's like for them right now.
I see your point on that, Whiskey. Dear God. Vehicle. Car. Oh.
My house is just down the road and up the way from Main Street and my shop. Very convenient. You must know it.
This is the Circle's Glow?
Yes, that's my shop. Another thing I like about our little town. Everyone knows it. You must know it.
This is the circle.
The circle's glow. Dear God, come on, man. There goes.
Ruth? No, I don't know any Ruths. I don't really know any older ladies.
How do you know she's older?
I just guessed with the name.
Right. And you've never been to her store over on Main? She runs the Circle's Glow.
Oh, that store. The spiritual one. Yeah, I might have been in that one before.
Might have.
I was, okay? A while ago. Not too many shops in town. I checked it out.
So you met the owner?
I guess, yeah. Is that her? I don't know her name, though.
Do you remember what you guys talked about?
No. It was a while ago.
Not bad. I got some. You spelled a vehicle, Mike. Okay, so this is the city. So where were the Circle's memories on Main Street? It says Goths Are Us. Really? Wait a minute. Red car, gray car, black car. Black car. What's that, like a truck? A van? Main Street? SUV. Thank you, Whiskey.
We reviewed a copy of the CCT footage of you meeting the victims at the mechanics last week. They brought in their Jeep SUV when they arrived in town from school. Jog any memories?
I don't know. Even if I met them, that doesn't mean anything.
Okay, let's spell this out. The basics. Do you remember a car full of college kids coming to the garage last week?
I don't know, maybe. What did they look like? What car did they have?
5 kids. The whole point of this thing, Caleb, the names were Greg Sims, Ryan Watson, Emily Thomas, Alana Morgan, and Heather Gardner.
I didn't know their names.
Okay, so it sounds familiar.
No.
They were driving a Jeep. New-ish. Silver. Really? Because the footage shows you meeting them. Denying the facts doesn't really get you anywhere. So they had some sort of problem with the car and talked to you to get an estimate.
Oh, yeah. I do remember them now coming in. Yep, alternator was acting up. 2 guys, and there were 3 pretty girls, yep.
Oh, you thought the girls were pretty. What else did you think about them? The victims.
Nothing else?
Shadows lie, crescent piles. The moon looks down upon us. Okay. Duly noted.
I do remember those kids were pretty rude for somebody that wanted to have their car fixed.
Oh yeah? How rude were they, Caleb?
Well, I heard one of them say that I was ugly in the car. And then when I told the one guy, he said his name was Greg. When I told him he needed a new alternator or his engine was going to die, he told me he wanted me to fix it. I said I can't fix it because it was too messed up. And then he said some stuff and called me dumb.
Wow. This is a lot of dialogue for someone you couldn't remember a second ago.
Facts.
How'd that make you feel when they called you dumb?
I don't know. People have called me dumb before. I just said, look, there's nothing I can do. You need a new one. And then he got back in his car and left with his friends.
Did he seem mad? Were you mad?
He might have been mad. I don't know. I wasn't that mad.
Did you say anything else back to him? Or to his friends? The girls? Did they say anything?
No, I just went back to work on the other car. The Stang.
So now that we know you're directly connected to the murder victims, since we have the CCTV footage, should we start guessing your motives for murdering them? Was it because they were college kids and you never went to college? Or they were more successful? Guys had some good-looking girlfriends. They were successful compared to you, right? That's all it takes sometimes.
Fact, the whiskey is definitely looking sus now.
Anything else happen at the garage while they were there?
No.
Nothing? You sure? Looking at the CCTV footage, your story seems to check out. There was just one little thing we were curious about. This moment.
What am I supposed to be looking at here?
Yeah. In the picture, it looks like a random moment from when Heather and her group of friends were there. They are there. There's you, the car, the garage, etc. The thing is, here's the next moment. And the next. And the next. And the next.
Huh?
Notice anything weird about them?
No.
These photos are stills from video taken over the course of 45 seconds. Everything is moving apart from one thing in the video. You. There you are, standing like a statue, staring at the car full of Greg, Alana, Heather, and their friends. Why is that? What were you looking at, Caleb? Were you trying to remember if you left the stove on in the morning, sorting through the brain fog, playing statue, just trying to find your brain in there? Or maybe one of the girls caught your eye? Kind of creepy if you ask me.
It was not that, jackass.
Whoa, whoa. Calm down there.
Or you getting in your feelings?
You gonna attack me too? So what was it then, if it wasn't that?
It just had a bumper sticker. It caught my eye. It had a symbol on it and some text I read a long time ago.
Okay. So they had a bumper sticker. What did it say?
It said, Shadows lie. Crescent plies. The moon looks down upon us.
What? Some mumbo jumbo hippie bumper sticker? So what's it mean?
It doesn't look like he's looking at that. That was live.
I'm going to read something, and you tell me what you think or you know about it.
All right.
Okay. Shadows lie, crescent plies, the moon looks down upon us. You ever hear that before?
Never heard that before.
How about read it?
I'm vaguely familiar with it.
How vaguely familiar?
It's from one of my books.
A book you have in your store. I feel like you're hesitating here.
Oh, well, I just don't recall which one. I mean, I'd be more than happy to look. The moon reference might take some time.
Yeah, we're gonna need you to do that.
The Black Moon. Ah. You know quite a lot more than I gave you credit for. Yes. It's important in my field, in scientific terms. It is an additional new moon in a season. A moon lit from behind in full shadow. Invisible to most people on Earth.
Most people?
Yes, most people. We also call it a shadow moon.
Okay, so what's so special about this black shadow moon then?
The various stages of the moon cycle are important for many reasons. Practical uses like gardening and spell casting. Or just being when the barriers between our worlds are at their narrowest. That can have its advantages too.
And here I am doing my spell casting on Sundays during Dance Superstars. Well, anything to avoid having to watch.
I like the routines.
President. Probably messed it up here.
I'm going to read something and you think.
Crescent flies. Oh. Yes. Bro, I'm just doing horrible with the spelling for some of this shit. Right. Plus. Or not. So I guess Black Moon and Shadow Moon next. Yep.
What all goes on at the Festival of Fire that you've been to?
The cops, you guys patrol it, you know.
That wasn't where I was going with my question. We're aware of the event.
Well, away from the fun and games, there are some places in town that celebrate in different ways.
How so?
People think it's the night to do stuff, try stuff. One night of the year.
What do you mean, like drugs?
No, I mean, that too kind of, but that's not what I meant.
What do you mean?
They try stuff. They're more open to stuff. Having fun.
Thanks, Whiskey.
Serious stuff, like witchcraft.
Witchcraft?
Yeah, like spells and stuff. It's kind of what this town is known for, you know.
Really? That's what the town is known for now.
Partially, yeah.
Caleb. Or Kobe, either or. Yeah, this dude definitely coked out his mind or something.
Ah, yes. The Festival of Fire. It used to just be called the Fire on the Hill. Not such a big production. For most people now, it's bobbing for apples, dressing up in tacky Halloween costumes, all capped off with a big phony baloney festival on top of the Witch's Hill at Dangling Rock, where they light some fake effigy to whatever on fire that the town put together over a few weeks. A real family affair. The town council even helps put it together now, I think. And some big companies even sponsor part of it.
It brings in a lot of money.
Yes. What with the families having a fun night out, the drunken revelers, and even the kids with their internet spells. It's an eventful night. What's different now is that the festival takes place on the same date every year now. October 30th. Devil's Night, or Mischief Night in some places. But originally it was only supposed to take place only on the date in October when the moon was right.
Well, what do you mean by that? Why is that important?
The festival right now is always on the 30th, the day before Halloween, for convenience. But before, the moon was always supposed to be in shadow for this event.
Well, with the significance being...
It helps to perform an incantation or a spell when the moon is at its extremes or strongest. This goes back way before my time, so I'm not sure on the exact history, but I know the moon doesn't show up because it's in shadow and looks black.
So we can't see it?
No, you can't, no. But it's still there, obviously.
So all that the way the crime scene was described on Whiskey, it sounds like witchcraft, like a ritual and shit. Low key.
You know any witchcraft?
No. Not that I know of.
That's an odd response. Not that you know of. We have some photos of you on file from your time in Minnesota when you were a teenager. In the 90s. Lots of dark clothes, not a lot of smiles. You had kind of a goth bad boy thing going on. That ended, right?
Yes.
Well, actually, it says under one of the hobbies your family listed at was magic. You know any magic tricks, Caleb?
No.
Oh my god, he knows magic. Facts.
Oh, you remember that. Interesting.
I'm on
So if I had
fire.
that right now, you can make a bunny hop out of it?
No.
Wait, hold on. Am I really on fire? Or you just joke? No, I'm kidding. I'm not that drunk yet. But remember the story? Yeah, Goss R Us, Toys R Us want to be. Oh, oh, oh. Well, looks like we know what we're searching up next, huh, Whiskey?
Oh, you remember that. Interesting. So if I had a hat right now, you can make a bunny hop out of it?
No. Look, I've done some stupid stuff in my past.
Past?
I've had phases where I was into certain stuff just like anyone else. Maybe I was into it in the past. Maybe I tried some stuff. Maybe it wasn't my thing. People change. Let them. Show me a person who's exactly the same as they were 5 years ago.
Maybe this, maybe that. That's why we're here. We're going to find out how many of those maybes are maybe nots. Dangling Rock. Our town's claim to fame. I mean, to be fair, it's a beautiful part of the town near the waterfront. I think, personally, one of the most beautiful natural landmarks on the West Coast, to be honest. It looks great from the water.
They realize that dangling is generally never like, it's never like the words that usually come next to it are never like positive whatsoever. Like, yo, he's dangling for his life. You already began to drink. Shit, I already got mine. Four Loko. We should.
And you can walk right up to it. Of course, there's all that
Okay,
crap
Wesley.
about it being some special sacred place or whatever. It's a big rock. We catch people there all hours. Most of the time, it's just couples or kids being dumb or weird, but every once in a while, it's some twacked out nut job thinking they're gonna talk to whatever two-bit deity they worship. It attracts all sorts. Well, I don't really go there anymore when I'm not on duty. Just can't stand the scene. We put up some new gates and signs, but people don't care. They just don't respect anything.
Do you think the people who go up there really believe?
I definitely think they do. That's what scares me. People believing everything they read or hear. When you talk to some of them, the lights are obviously on, but no one's on. We really should find out who spreads these ideas and stop them at the source. I remember one of the last time I saw my niece, God rest her soul. She drove up to mine in some van, said she was gonna go to some hippie festival down in the national park. Was with some guys and friends. That's how it starts. I think that's where she fell in love with the same crowd, believing in who knows what. And who knows? Maybe some of it is true. Evil. Pure evil.
Bite your tongue. I hope you're not implying that I'm associated with such mischief. Witchcraft is for the young.
You do have a reputation amongst the kids in town.
Oh, I've heard them too, calling me all sorts of names. Incredibly disrespectful, the youth of today.
What sort of names do they call you?
I don't pay much attention, they're just kids. The worst is hearing it from older people, who should know better. This and that bitty, Mrs. Death, everything you can think of, I've heard them all. Like I said, I don't pay them much attention.
You can imagine their thinking. With the store, and I thought your type didn't mind being called that.
Such broad strokes we're painted with. Phooey.
So what, you're offended?
Give me some credit.
Alright. You're not a witch. Not offended.
Hmm. Nope, did not work. Hmm. Oh yeah, forgot the festival. Let's try magic. Voila, magic. Voila, magic. Oh, welcome back. So I tried Ghosts or Us, it didn't work.
Oh, you remember?
Oh, wait, his pass. I'm tweaking. Us.
Oh.
I think this is where I was into certain stuff just like anyone else. Maybe stuff. Maybe it wasn't my thing. It was exactly the same as they were 5 years ago.
We're gonna find out how many of those maybes are maybe nots. You know any witchcraft?
No, I
Out from your time in Minnesota when you were a teenager. In the 90s. Lots of dark clothes.
Welcome
not a lot of
back.
Smiles. You had kind of a goth bad boy thing going on. That ended, right?
Yes.
Well, actually, it says under one of the hobbies your family listed that was magic.
Let me see, maybe Ruth says some other shit. And I'm misspelling the shit out of witchcraft. Witchcraft. Blood. Yeah.
Bite your tongue. I hope you're not implying that I'm associated with such. The worst is hearing it from older people. Incredibly disrespectful, the youth of today.
What sort of names do they call you?
I don't pay much attention, they're just kids. The worst is hearing it from older people. Death. Everything you can think.
It's death. Okay. Nope, none on that. She really do. Bingo. I just started thinking about
Yes,
it.
I've known him a long time. Not personally, per se. But he's known here around town. People are wary of him, but that serves the purpose that's needed.
Yeah, definitely. He's a good man. I was a cadet with him when I started.
Ah, yes, nearby. Funny how lifelong connections are formed at that stage.
How do you know that?
I'm not sure where I gained that knowledge. From my past in town or somewhere else.
You know you're under oath.
And I'm telling the truth. But yes, he has a purpose. Dissuasion and such. I support his efforts, no doubt. There are a lot of ways to get people to task, however.
Yeah, you know what's crazy? I didn't try certain names.
Oh yeah, the neighbor? Our sole witness. Ruth Forsbrand. Yeah, I suppose we could talk to her some more. We just got her statement at the scene, but she's more than happy to give us details of what she knows. Very cooperative. A little odd, but mostly harmless, I think. She's lived here forever. In fact, she even knew my parents. Said she saw our man Caleb walk out of the house at the crime scene. Let's get some more details from her.
You didn't wait for more backup? More cavalry? Just Terry was enough?
At that point, Terry and I decided to check the rest of the house, just in case anyone else was in the house, injured, or even if we could still catch the person, or persons, who did this. We were careful. We went in slowly, cleared each room, guns drawn. The front room was really the place besides the living room that had the signs that a struggle had occurred. There was a broken lamp on the floor, still on, and there was a chair on its side, but that was it. To me, it indicated the living room that had the signs that a struggle had occurred. There was a broken lamp on the floor, still on, and there was a chair on its side, but that was it. To me, it indicated someone was in the room, got surprised, possibly fought back, and then left quickly. So the ground floor was clear, apart from the living room, obviously.
That's Terry, so. Sure. I just said lamp. I ain't say if it was broken. Nope. Okay, cool. So we'll continue because he actually gives a decent he gives a decent summary on the crime scene and shit.
You didn't wait for more backup? More cavalry?
Skip all that, skip all that, skip all that.
The front room was really the place besides the living room that had the signs that a struggle had occurred. There was a broken lamp on the floor, still on, and there was a chair on its side, but that was it. To me, it indicated someone was in the room, got surprised, possibly fought back, and then left quickly. So the ground floor was clear, apart from the living room, obviously. At that point, we proceeded upstairs. Got to the first room to the right of the stairs, a small guest room. The door was slightly open, lights were on, and found nothing. Nothing. It was completely empty. There's a bathroom across from that room, and there was nothing. Nobody in there either, just empty. All the rooms were like that, weirdly empty with the lights on. But I swear a dark cloud was following us in every room in that house. Not a real cloud, but there was eel in there.
A dark cloud. Empty. Yeah, I know what you mean. I don't know, for me, it's like, it's like the chin thing kind of I'm not gonna lie, the chin thing is kind of a little bit liarish. Like, sometimes I do it, like, just out of, like, me, like, contemplating, like, what I want to say sometimes. Because a lot of times I feel like I don't articulate myself the best. So, sometimes I'll do that just to make sure like I say the exact thing correctly. No.
At that point, pulled out my gun, called out once again, identified myself as an officer of the law, and that backup was en route. I called for backup on my radio at that point, but now we know it didn't go through. The house was dead. It was very quiet, almost peaceful. It was pretty eerie. First time I'd ever seen anything like that. I don't know what I expected, but it was odd how quiet it was. I froze. Everything was frozen in time in that room, it seemed. Wasn't expecting the silence. Bizarrely, there were white sheets over everything. The kids must have placed them there. All the furniture, the ground, everything. The students were located in various positions, or parts of them. It was like a bomb went off. Looking at the bodies, I had difficulty even processing what I was looking at. It was a mess. They've now been identified as all four of them.
We have something we need to call on your expertise for. It's this.
I'm no mind reader.
Oh,
Help me out.
you're not? Well, I figured with your background.
Perhaps I used the wrong choice of words. I've not developed the ability to see through physical objects in layers. Would you mind telling me what it is I meant to be sharing my expertise on?
It's a tooth.
That is a tooth.
A big one.
Right. Well, what's it doing here?
We found it at the crime scene, the victim's house. It was in the wall.
In the wall?
Yes.
Well, what was it doing there?
We thought you might know.
Oh, I see. Because of my shop. Your kind never liked my shop, did you, Michael? Well, if you must know what you're looking at is...
Okay, before she goes into that, shout out to the Radar 2K here in the live chat. What's happening with you, bro?
Never liked my shop, did you, Michael? Well, if you must know what you're looking at is likely related to folk magic. From the subtropics. I assume talismanic in nature. But for what kind of spell, it's hard to guess. You could enchant or bind an incantation to someone. It could be a number of things.
So it was personal. Someone at the house wanted to target someone.
Quite possibly. If it were used offensively, belonging to one of the deceased, well, it doesn't get much more personal than a part of someone's head.
Well, all of the deceased victims had intact teeth, though. Or enough of them that we found, I think. Could it be offensive if it wasn't from a victim?
Sure. Like an attraction spell.
A love charm.
A tooth combined with
A
object
tooth.
of the person.
Are you able to somehow tell who the tooth belongs to?
Oh, you mean you believe in my abilities? Nice, thank you, Michael. But you shouldn't have. I'm not able to track down a missing tooth in the spirit world like some ghostly private eye DDS. No, unless you know of someone missing a molar, I'd say we won't know whose it is. What I would assume, given the circumstances, it's that it's not important whose tooth it is, but more what they wanted to do with it. Hair is much more easy to use for those types of spells needing a piece of someone.
Give us some examples. What do people you know get up to with human teeth in combination with something like hair?
Well, like I said, it could be used for a variety of things. The wall was under the room.
Yes. Is that important?
It helps.
Are these good or evil spells?
Can be both. For example, you could use it to attract someone, or on the other hand, to push them away. But such black and white lines, good and evil, don't exist in my community. Teeth are more often used as protective charms, defensive in nature. But it's hard to say anything definite, although likely a powerful spell.
We have something.
Not telling me what it is. Right. Well, what's it doing here? In the wall?
Yes.
Well, what was it doing there?
We thought you might know.
Oh, I see. Because of my shop. Your kind never liked my shop, did you, Michael? Well, if you must know what you're looking at is likely related to...
Okay, I got it. So folk magic, but a K at the end of it. Cool. Hmm.
We have something we need to call on your expertise for. It's this.
Wrong one.
Are you able to somehow tell who the tooth belongs to?
Oh. Like some ghostly private... Yes. A molar, I'd say we won't know whose it is. What I would assume, given the circumstances, it's that it's not important whose tooth it is, but more what they wanted to do with it. Hair is much more easy to use for those.
In combination with something.
The wall was under the room.
Yes. Is that important?
It helps.
Are these good or evil spells?
Can be both. For example, you could use it to attract someone, or on the other hand, to push them away. But such black and white lines, good and evil, don't exist in my community. Teeth are more often used as protective charms, defensive in nature. But it's hard to say anything definite, although likely a powerful spell.
Someone's got to get rid of the undesirable aspects. You want to see that too? It's also a bird, a different bird.
2?
Yeah. This one's a bird of prey, an eagle. I don't really want to talk about this one, just something else that means something to me.
No problem. It looks pretty cool.
I don't want to have what happened to my niece repeat itself.
Right. It's understandable. I think most people in this town would agree with you, though. Yeah, in this town. And that's why what happened on the street is so crazy. Virtually no problems, and then that. The neighbors, the whole town, they're going to need some time to get over this, for sure. Do you know if any other witnesses, neighbors saw anything?
Not that I know of.
So,
I don't think I tried neighbors. Neighbor.
Evening.
Good evening.
How are you tonight?
Well, thank you.
As you know, we're talking to a couple of people here tonight connected with the incident on your street. Our officers are interviewing them in other rooms here. I'm Sergeant Wilcox, and this is Detective Turner.
How do you do?
Apologies for having to interview in the AV room. Our main room's occupied. Plus, it's the only room where we have power on consistently. Stuff got fried over the last couple of days in the storm. At least we can make sure all the recordings are working here. And we want to make sure you get everything.
Overall,
Again, it's Force Brand. Good to see you, Detective.
Your address for the record?
I live at 218 First Avenue here in town. I've been here most of my life. Interestingly, my grandfather actually came over on the ships from Norway. And like many settlers, he was a deckhand on a trawler. Passed through Anchorage, Seattle, and most of the western coast before homesteading here. You see, the government was still giving away parcels of land in those days. Very kind of them. It was really a different time. Similar, but different.
I tried that for. That's my name wrong. Probably did. Sports brand. Nope. Okay, so Heather Erickson, Emily Thomas. Let's try their names again. Yeah, I didn't try that, huh? Nope. let's try lighter again. And tablet as well. Oh.
Tell us more about your dog.
Oh, Ken's lovely. A basset hound, like I told you. We've been together forever. He's getting on in years, still has that effervescent youth about him. I brought a photo if you'd like to see him. My alibi? I'm not sure why you would need that. Actually, that's a bit rude. Where was I last night? I'll tell you. I was at home, sleeping, alone, with Ken at my feet, our usual time, 9 p.m.
And slept the whole night through.
Yep.
Never left or got up for any reason.
Correct.
And you never heard anything. Like windows shattering down the street.
No. And then we woke at our usual time, 6 a.m., and had some tea, tended to the garden. It's nice to see the neighborhood wake up. Then I had a little read, walked along with Ken and went to my store. I'm reading that 50 Shades book.
What the fuck? Shit, freak.
Could you just give us a quick rundown of what happened yesterday?
Now, you asked me what happened yesterday morning already. You see, I've done this a few times. I called and spoke with Kaylee at your offices here, like they told me to. No, I gave her all of the details. Not to mention your colleague at my house before that, whose name escapes me. He tread on my daffodils. I think you need to get your ducks.
I don't think I tried those. Hmm. Alright.
talk us through this a bit slower. So you're out walking your dog, south on First. Now, same side of the street on the sidewalk as the house?
Yes.
And what made you look at the house?
I don't know really. Beautiful.
You see anything else? A man, perhaps?
Oh, yes. The young man in the hat. Walking around to the side of the house towards the back. Damage to the front door. A face in the window. Yes, I remember. A few minutes later.
Yesterday morning, we received a call to respond to a two-story Victorian house typical of the area. They had noticed a window next to the front door was shattered and the front door was open, so they called us in to assume that it was a break-in. I was in the area, so I pulled up and was the first responder to the scene. The neighbor who called in is an older resident who lives down the street. With the summer rentals here, she thought someone might have broken in looking for something to steal. It happens occasionally here in town.
Here we go.
So tell us more about what happened at your store with the robbery.
The day started like any other. I did my various daily duties, some light dusting, and then manned the register.
A lot of people come in?
Yes. Well, that's subjective. Several.
Well, when did Heather and her friends arrive?
Mid-afternoon.
All 5?
Yes. There were 5. At first they were browsing, looking at my oddities and the special collections in the museum cabinet. Things were okay.
I take it something bad happened.
Yes, it turned quickly. They said the normal newer books didn't work. They wanted older things, rarer. Kept saying I knew where I kept them. So insistent. I refused for a time. However, well, eventually, after endless back and forth, I caved.
What did they want? What did you give them?
Exactly what they wanted. My oldest book. A book on Grand Rock mythology.
A book on Dangling Rock.
That's one thing covered in it.
What else is in it?
It covers the greater area, natural formations and other important connections to the earth. From long ago until my grandmother stopped updating it, there's been a lot of animosity surrounding Dangling Rock and the others here over the years. This tells some of the history between the tribes.
Like Native Americans?
No, well, in part. This goes back before and after that time. It has original writings, history, divinations, and musings from my whole family, generations upon generations.
Where is it? Can we take a look?
It's at my store. I can give you a copy. When I asked why they were interested, I thought they were only looking to get into the basics of spell casting from what we had been talking about. The older boy only replied, he was.
And the book doesn't have that.
No, it has the history of the area, but some important pieces of information too. There are many natural resources and important minerals found in the area. Maybe they were just making sure everything they read beforehand was true, to confirm in the book.
Interesting.
Yes. Unfortunately, that tome really was of no real interest. The boy looked at it briefly and then laughed at me and threw it back on the shelf. It almost hit me. He was really after something else. His second request was far more specific. My original copy of the Book of Games.
So you were borderline assaulted when you got the book thrown towards you and robbed. And you didn't think to call us. File a report.
It's not my way. Besides, they only left with a single piece of paper. The one book was thrown my direction and the other left on the counter, not too serious. How much priority would this Mickey Mouse shop have given that?
We would have taken the details of the incident, gone, and talked to the suspects when we could.
Yeah.
Well, I appreciate your honesty, but I didn't find it that serious.
So they asked to see 2 books. A book on natural phenomenon from the area, and this game book.
The Book of Games, yes.
You said they left with a piece of paper.
Yeah, what exactly did they take?
An old document that was held in the book, part of a diary. The diary of a man who lived several hundred years ago.
What would they want with that?
I don't know. Maybe he didn't know he was holding it when he stormed out. It just seemed like he just wanted to show me.
And after you knew Alana was with them and that she lived right down the street from you, you didn't confront them later? Maybe go over and ask for your property back?
5 people versus 1. What could I...
So you were just going to let it go and call it good?
Not exactly. That document wouldn't be very useful to them. I knew I'd get it back eventually.
How?
Oh no. Just figured it would come back.
So, what is this Book of Games all about then?
Yes, that collection. Well, here. I have a photo of it. Only one I have. I thought you'd ask about it. It doesn't photograph well, however. The Book of Games. It's obscure. Only die-hard believers would know of it, or historians. But of course, with the internet, anything's possible now. Most don't think it exists, but the really persistent are obsessed with finding out about it. Only 3 original copies exist, and I know all of the owners. Well, they don't show it to people, but bits and pieces have gotten out. The other 2 copies are on the eastern side of the country. It's from a collection of writing in the late 1500s in what is now New England. If those kids were into it, well, I'm not surprised what happened to them. Did, or worse.
So tell us more about this book then. You said you were not surprised by what happened to the... So tell us more about this book then. You said you were not surprised by what happened to the students. What does it do?
It's not what it does. It's what it doesn't do.
I'm not sure I'm following you. How do you mean?
There's always been this belief that there's some mistake in the writing of the book. That the lines are miswritten, since the outcome for most of the content is, well, bad for all intents and purposes for those who recite something in it. As if the people who wrote it did so intentionally, since each one is labeled good, promising all sorts of good outcomes. See, the first arrivers, the first North American settlers who came on the ships, who were in tune with the spiritual dimension, they were smart. They knew they
All right, let's try that now. Yep, there we go. Can y'all hear me now? Welcome back, Whiskey. All right. Yep. I had to do a quick double check there. But yeah, I was saying, yeah, like you was talking about that dude Caleb, the one with the purple beanie. Yeah, he looked like a drug dealer.
So tell us more.
Oh yeah,
not
welcome
what
back,
it
Whiskey.
does. It's what it doesn't do.
I'm not sure I'm following you. How do you mean?
There's always been this belief that there's some mistake in the writing of the book, that the lines are miswritten, since the outcome for most of the content is, well, bad for all intents and purposes, for those who recite something in it. As if the people who wrote it did so intentionally, since each one is labeled good, promising all sorts of good outcomes. See, the first arrivers, the first North American settlers who came on the ships, who were in tune with the spiritual dimension, they were smart. They knew they were being killed off one by one in great numbers wherever they were in the world at the time. So they left little pieces of themselves behind in the form of their writing. That work was collected by their peers with a few copies discreetly made, all by hand. And after they died, only their written word would remain. So they left in some parts usefulness to those who knew how to interpret it, but to all others, mischief, games. So the people who found the book and made the mistake of trying anything inside usually, always wound up much worse off. The Book of Games was one such collection, but there are others.
So these kids, they try this sort of thing, some sort of spell inside, and don't get it right.
Incantation, yes.
Okay, and that kind of makes you liable, providing something that will knowingly kill them and not telling anyone about it.
Well, they stole it from me, actually.
You're willing to bet that the jury sees it that way? 5 young, bright students on their way to a sure death.
Wow, these are the first cops I've ever heard. Hold on.
Well, eventually, after endless...
Yo, these are the first cops I've ever heard that actually are willing to actually use witchcraft in like court, bro. That's some shit. Let me find out, bro. Be like, yo, I ain't kill my op. Like, witchcraft made it happen. Like, I had got this book, and next thing I knew, like, I became the truth. Like, like I start wilding. Alright, so next. Oh yeah, whiskey. So apparently they robbed her of a book, and it seems like the book is partly the reason of their deaths.
Let me try to explain more. See, the devil is in the details. There was always a rumor
The
that
devil
there was
is
some way
alive.
of interpreting it in some new way to gain knowledge from beyond what is shown and written.
Like a code.
But that's one way of putting it. I had thought the notion of the interpretation, this rumor, died decades ago. I'm not sure where they heard about it, or how they knew I have it. The incantation they were after inside was one of the most powerful. Promises of an unending life, and a gift of power on each one of the 5 branches of matter.
5 branches of matter.
Okay, time out, hold on. Let me just get this straight. You're saying something from a book, by reading a book out loud, I can have eternal life? Oh, well, sign me up. So, let me see one of the copies. Because actually, we haven't fully turned the house upside down, and maybe we can still find this one. I'll get on the call right now.
The diary interpretation is no doubt now destroyed from the events that transpired. And even if you did have access to it, you would fail, as they did. You only get one chance at getting it right.
So why aren't people writing down exactly what they try, and then keep trying everything slightly different until we figure out how to make it work? I mean, that's what I would do.
It's not in our way.
I have some more questions. You said it's the 5 branches of matter. What does that mean?
Oh, I can show you a diagram or draw one for you that would help. It has to do with...
Whoa, whoa, whoa. Fuck. Damn it. I think I spelled that diagram. Probably spelled diagram wrong. Incantations.
Let me try to explain more. Powerful. Promises.
Oh, bro, I'm solving a murder. Like, that's pretty much the basis of it. I'm solving a murder.
Let me just get this straight. You're saying something from a book, by reading a book out loud, I can have copies. Get on the call right now.
Fail.
Different until we figure out how to make it work. I mean, that's what I would do.
It's not in our way.
I have some more questions. You said it's the 5 branches of matter. What does that mean?
Oh, I can show you a diagram or
5 branches of matter. There we go.
Anything else about the key? The key of John.
I have a lot of books and documents. I'd have to go back to the store to tell you more. I can give you an inventory list if you'd like with descriptions. Hasn't been updated in a while though. Come to think of it, I think last looked at that particular document 30 years ago. But that's not to say it's not exactly as described. Now, what was it?
All right, Ruth, come on. What do you know about this thing?
I'm not sure. I must be having a senior moment. Something like a song or a recipe.
A song, a recipe. The kid comes in, asks about 2 specific books he knows you have, and then leaves with this old piece of paper. It could have been an accident, but nothing about this case seems like an accident, and maybe it's another knockoff you sell.
Let's make one thing clear, gentlemen. All of the things I sell in my store are genuine. My store sells and collects heritage articles and other heirlooms dating hundreds of years.
Those magic kits you sell for $10 are genuine.
They bring genuine joy to those that purchase them.
So the stuff you have in the cabinets is real. The expensive stuff.
Of course. And those things aren't for sale.
Would you mind us coming to take a look around? Maybe take some pictures of your inventory?
Yes,
You would mind.
We could probably get a warrant.
I could make an exception.
Great. Tell us what we'll find out about the key.
Alright, so Kia John. One second. I'm gonna alright, Pa, if you still here, bro, I'll give you a quick I can give you a quick summary off of just the news here. I think it's this one.
Sorry, Megan. We're going to have to cut away from weather right now. We've just received word that police have found several bodies in nearby Port Landsend. Details are scarce, but officers are treating the deaths as suspicious. No details on the victims yet. They were only described as being young. The officer we spoke to had been to the house, but wouldn't talk much about what he saw besides describing it as incredibly gruesome. We'll have more details as they come available.
So yeah, they were students, and
New tonight, shocking news coming out of Port Landsend. The bodies of 4 deceased Western Washington students have been found in a house on the town's east side, with reports of a single survivor being rushed to St. Michael's Hospital this morning. Authorities aren't releasing any details on what may have caused the deaths in this otherwise sleepy vacation community, but anonymous sources described it as one of the most horrific crime scenes they've ever come across. All we know about the survivor is that she's a female in her 20s, in critical condition, with her wounds being listed as egregious by local paramedics. More on this story as it develops.
yeah, and that should have pretty much caught you up on where we're kind of at.
Okay, fine. When put together and done on the correct night, the last time moon is in full shadow in October. The spell they tried should work by opening the portal to the spirit world, since the doorway is at its thinnest. This lets the enchanter communicate with the required spirits to activate parts of the 5 branches or pillars of the Leviathan, or the Sabbatic goat, as it's known in some circles. These refer to improved or enhanced sense, as you know it. The traditional ones: sight, hearing, smell, touch, breathing. Communication is another. Manipulation of matter, that sort of thing as well. Or it could be a combination, making your existing senses heightened and the ones you don't know you have.
Improved breathing, communication. Okay.
Those are the closest words in our language to describe them, but not as you or I know them. Communication can mean talking across various planes of physical existence and locations, or just harnessing metaphysical world to use it in our world.
Talking with your dead relative.
Anyone.
Anything else happen with this ritual? Lights, sounds, fire?
Death. It always results in death.
So why do it?
That's the big question, isn't it? Keep in mind, it's not always the enchanter's demise. At least when done properly, it shouldn't be, in theory.
Well, what's this thing called, the spell that they tried?
The Burning Shadows Ritual.
The fuck? So sight, hearing, telekinesis, touch, scent, communication, vision, power, matter, and death. So are these like relevant now? Nope. Okay. I was making sure. Burning. Yeah, I know whiskey, right? Like crazy. So pretty much they decide to open up a plane to existence. Well, open up like the plane's always been there, but I guess when the moon is like the shadow moon, it's like the barrier is like the weakest. So they decided like, okay, we can open this shit and it will somehow give us powers. Not like, oh, we'll open this shit and like it's a small possibility demons might come through. Like, I mean, that's the first thing I think of when I think of like a barrier. Barriers usually keep shit out. But they'll fuck it up.
Okay, fine. That's the big question, isn't it? Keep in mind, it's not always the enchanter's demise. At least when done properly, it shouldn't be, in theory.
Well, what's this thing called, the spell that they tried?
The Burning Shadows Ritual.
Alright. Hold on, there we go. So it's possible what's the name lived because he's the enchanter. Here, John.
So what's this diary page they grabbed?
Oh, we call it the Key of John.
And what's the key of John?
Who is John?
The key. A document hundreds of years old, stolen by your victims 2 days ago. The document refers to a man called John van Persie, an early 16th century explorer from the Netherlands. He met indigenous cultures all over the world for the first time, gained a lot of knowledge on how the world works.
So was he a witch, or as you call it, a warlock, that sort of thing?
No. But he met many types of people, many spiritual, and gained their trust. They gave him some of their writing to take with him. They knew having it as far away from them as possible would save the true usefulness of their work from being uncovered. He took it back to the old world.
So, You do a spell, incantation, ritual, whatever. You do some stuff on the hill, say some stuff in your house and stuff like that. But what's it all supposed to do?
Well, in this case, the key interprets the part of the game book as originally intended. It imbues the enchanter with newfound windows into the world.
Newfound windows into the world.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to have to ask for an explanation for that.
Knowledge, power. Your kind would call them abilities. Powers.
Powers. Like superpowers. Superhero stuff?
Whoa! I want invisibility.
So powers. Man, if this ain't the most demonic looking thing in the world. You know what's crazy? I'm one of those few believers who doesn't like 1,000%. By the way, I want to ask you what is YouTube Game Whiskey back? Yeah, bro, I'm streaming on multiple platforms. So right now on Pi, I'm streaming on YouTube, I'm streaming on Twitch, I'm streaming on Facebook, I'm streaming on Twitter, I'm streaming on Nemo TV, I'm streaming on Travel, and I'm streaming on D Live. So yeah, 7 different platforms. Yep. All at the same time, bro. But yeah, I'm one of those I'm one of those people who doesn't like 1,000% dismiss everything. Just because it sounds, yeah, I'm on Twitter too, bro. It's not necessary, but I'm gonna do it anyway. You feel me, guys? Hold on, I'll post my Twitter just in case you're on Twitter too. But yeah, like I put like a lot of different stuff on my Twitter. Sometimes like I'll post like my edits, like any edits I do. Sometimes I'll post on there before everybody else can see them. Yep. Matter of fact, I think Whiskey can see you on her end too. So, because I think it relays also on to YouTube. Like they both relay towards each other. So you'll see like, oh, YouTube this, or in Whiskey's case, you'll probably see Twitter, and then Pi said this and that. Yep.
I am not used to such events in my store. As you know, I was working around 3 p.m. They barge in and demand to see my most prized books. I said I didn't know where anything was and to come back later. They insisted I find the books and wouldn't leave until they had them. Said they needed them now. I tried to tell them how cluttered everything was in the store, but they didn't believe me. One of them knocked over my card displays, trying to make a point, no doubt. I had had enough of them then and walked over to the drawer behind the display cabinet, where I found the books that they were after. They snatched it out of my hands, looked it over, and demanded to see my older original writings as well. They took the document we're talking about and off they went.
Yep. But yeah, like Pi, I'm not. Yeah, like I'm not a. I don't consider myself a streamer in the slightest, bro. Like I mostly consider myself a content creator just because I make like videos and shit, and a lot at that. You can ask Whiskey. I got like over 1,000 of them on this channel. Best believe I edit and I do all my own shit. So it's like the only thing I don't do is like graphically design or graphically draw shit. But if you see any of that, I either got it from somewhere or somebody made it for me. But yeah, I'm a well-made content machine, man.
I picked up my display of cards and went back behind the counter and finished the day.
Just surprised we didn't get any calls about a robbery at your store that day.
I understand, but it's typically not our way. I tried to stop them. I wanted to give them a fake key, but it just wasn't possible.
Wait, so they took the real key?
What do you mean by giving them a fake key?
Just what it sounds like. Most people that come to my store who've heard of the key of John Van Persie have read about it from this one story someone came up with on the internet 20 years ago. It kind of took on a life of its own after that, but it's not based on facts. So they're not really what you would call into it genuinely. You'd almost need to be a historian or part of an extremely small circle of people to really understand the document. So for most people, I sell them a feeling at my store and they leave satisfied. I can't just give out anything to anyone. It's far too dangerous. So I present them with documents I've created from time to time, mostly harmless or a bit of fun. I've got an oath to uphold.
The occult bookshop owner's oath?
Joke all you want, but it could have been much worse.
One survivor out of 5 with life-altering injuries, but sure.
You create these fake keys?
Yes, from time to time. I don't need many, and they're not exactly flying off the shelves.
So you could put anything you wanted into them.
I suppose. In this case, I would have diffused the situation had I given them a key I created.
Oh my god. She said she took an oath. What oath did she take? Guess they ain't gonna tell me on that, huh? John Von Persie. Nope. Didn't work. Oh yeah, yo, let me know how that is. I didn't get a chance to ever watch the series for that. But you have a great day, Pi. Hmm. I'm gonna try Burning Shadows then. But alright, bro. Burning Shadows. Oh, here we go. Got it.
Look, I'm telling the truth.
You start out lying, saying you don't even remember your own name. Now she would just start believing you?
Things have been coming back to me since we've been talking. I swear. I got to the house that night, and I heard some weird noises. Like they were in my head, but outside too. I felt like I needed to go inside somehow, and I saw lights coming from inside. So I walked up to the porch, turned the door handle, and went inside. Inside the house, it was dark, but I saw these colors coming from the back room. I went down the hall and reached for the door, but I must have hit my head because the next thing I knew it was morning and I was back out on the porch. After a minute, I went inside into the living room and checked, but it was too late. Everyone was already dead. I swear.
Do you remember how you hit your head? At what point was that?
No, I don't remember.
You hit your head a lot, don't you?
No.
How about the location? What was the last thing you remember being in the living room that night?
I honestly can't remember. Stuff was weird at the time. The noises were both in my head and outside of it. What I was looking at was weird too. Things were kind of like a picture, like a painting, or like a stained glass window, and all distorted somehow.
Sounds odd.
I'll say.
Do you remember if you saw anyone in there, in the house that night?
No. I mean, maybe some of the shapes were people. They were like paper dolls or something, moving, just shapes of people and noises.
And nothing in the morning either?
It was too ugly. I looked away and left.
Five branches of a pentagram and 5 victims. Seems like the spell worked.
So you think it was suicide? Like a mass cult thing?
Let me just point one thing out to you, geniuses. That spell, that ritual, the burning shadows, you didn't have 5 victims, you had 4. It worked, but not like it was supposed to. 4 people died, so something changed. Otherwise, all 5 of them would still be alive.
Remind us what the burning shadow ritual is in your eyes.
I don't know. I've only ever heard of it from things not to try in that book.
Which book?
The game book.
So what changed?
I guess that's for you to find out.
So do you think these kids are involved with whatever your niece got into back then?
Seems like they were definitely trying something similar. Although my niece was the only one who died in that fire, and everyone else got out relatively okay, besides some burns.
So, something similar then.
If they did it to themselves, then they all but died acting foolishly. I'd say that's pretty similar.
You really believe it though? That this stuff is real?
There's so many people that believe in this witchcraft stuff. Witchcraft, people look you straight in the eye and tell you that they think it's real. So many of those people. There's got to be truth behind it. Smart people. My own family thought it, and I've seen some weird stuff in this job. So if it is, the pendulum's got to swing back in the other way.
And how do we do that?
Hard work, perseverance, being vigilant. It's not hard. Just got to be determined to do the right thing.
Wait, something seems up here. I might be overthinking this. But like this dude, he's a whole lieutenant cop, right? Like in order to get to like this type of stature, you'd have to constantly be breaking like in some cases and shit, right? Like what if he in the past like performed a ritual and all this bullshit happens just because like he wanted to always, like he probably sold his life or almost like did whatever this and that so that he could constantly always have work. Cause he's probably just like calmly just climbing up the ladder at this point. Because he's covering all these cases.
You know, I don't know the history of that particular spell. The Burning Shadows. Records weren't kept of who contributed to the Book of Games originally. The Burning Shadows was old, even back then when it was first collected.
Why is it called the Burning Shadows?
I don't know, if I'm honest.
Care to guess?
Not really. No one's ever done it successfully, as far as I'm aware. I've kept it away from people. Again, I don't know where they found out that I had it.
If the ritual turned out the way it did, and assuming that all the students did everything correctly, why didn't it work?
I don't know. And I'm as surprised as you are to hear that there's a survivor. They should have all died. They were all close to the origin where it's the strongest. The power should have emerged right there at the source.
Right. If they had the key document and knew the original incantation, it should have worked. Could they have messed it up somehow?
I suppose that's possible. Human error is always a possibility.
And if they didn't do it right, why didn't they? Assuming they didn't want to kill themselves, something must have been different.
That's the big question.
Somebody could have changed something, but why?
Would you like to try something? I have just learned it.
How recently?
Very.
What is it?
The earthing seance.
Oh, I'm not typing on the phone, my dumbass. Like, bruh. Oh, let me just see how it's spelled real quick.
If the ritual turned out the
The earthing.
That's the crazy thing. It's spelled like seance, but it's seance. That's shit that still gets me to this day with that. Alright. So far, one of the things I learned is just saying the does not messes up the thing. So you just never have to say the.
I know what you're wondering. If it's really possible. I'm a medium, among other things.
A medium.
Here we
I
go.
don't remember ever hearing you offering to tell people's fortunes.
Here we go. I already knew at some point we was gonna get to this. Like anytime anything having to do with witchcraft, spell boundary, always have to do with mediums and seances. Like, bro, this is just always it's automatic.
I know what you're wondering.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is automatic.
If it's really possible. I'm a medium, among other things.
A medium.
Where
I
she
don't
also a
remember
freak
ever
in the
hearing you
sheets.
offering to tell people's fortunes. Or do you need to read lifelines in people's hands?
No, not that. I can offer a different type of service.
Whoa, whoa,
I've only
whoa,
just
whoa,
gotten
whoa,
here recently, but
whoa. I was joking. She said I could offer a different type of service. Like, what you mean?
I can offer a different type of service.
What you mean?
I've
Oh
only
my
just
god.
gotten very recently, but it's the earthing seance. Care for a demonstration then?
talk to my dead relatives through you? No thanks, I'm good.
A real seance. Sure.
Oh, it's good, MC Dog. Yeah, it's F and V. This one I'm solving like cases, like I'm doing interrogations and shit. So I'm trying to like figure out who killed who. So I'm looking through footage of like the interrogations and stuff that happened. Yeah, you can tell this is
A real
Steam.
seance. Sure.
So what goes on in one of these, what do you call it?
Earthing seance. We could find out some interesting things, perhaps. Shall we try it then? Go, yeah. Your choice, officers.
Or how you been, bro?
We'll need to turn the lights down low.
I don't know.
We need a single...
I was thinking about it, but it didn't sound that interested to me. Cause it's on the PlayStation Market, so I was thinking about it, but I was kind of like, eh. They tried to I feel like they tried to overhype it with time travel. I'm like, bro, I ain't trying to hear that.
We'll need to turn the lights down low.
I don't know.
We need a single central light source. And, tell me what you want to know.
Will my phone work?
What did my ex-wife do with all my money?
Place your hands on the table.
Tell us who killed them. The students.
I'll contact them. Look down into the light.
Ugh, it's pretty bright.
Look at the table then. Look through the table. Try to see the floor. The layers directly below the floor. Each one below it. Past the floor.
It's cool, Whiskey. You have a great day. And thank you for rocking with me.
Keep going. Past each layer of the building. You're at the ground. What do you see? Can you go further down? Beyond? Further? 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 It's dark and cold. Keep going. Down. Down, down to the center. We're almost there. Darker and darker. Further. And we're there.
What the fuck?
Now, too. We've come for knowledge. The knowledge of who extinguished the spirits in the mortal realm of Emily Thomas, Brian Watson, Gregory Sims, and Alana Morgan. Speak to me as I am one. We ask of
What the fuck?
you what is asked before. What is asked of you.
Why she was just freaking out like that?
We ask of you. We ask of you what is asked before us. Guide me to the light and through the truth. Guide me to the light and through the truth. Guide me.
What the fuck?
I await your guidance.
Whoa, okay, okay. Can someone flip the lights for us? Never mind, I'll find them.
There's evil in here.
I know, they're all lying. Don't let them get away with it. Each one of them will betray the other in order to save themselves. What? Building on that.
That was fun. Spooky. Like a real life horror movie.
Okay. So we did your song and dance. Now what did the ghosts tell you, Ruth?
Demons, right?
I sensed there was an evil nearby, not demons necessarily. How close, I can't be certain. What exactly it was, I don't know. That could mean it or they were in the room, or the building, or somewhere else. I'm not that experienced with the process.
Well, it would have been nice to learn some names. Still, this makes some nice footage come to court time. Was this even admissible in court?
No, I don't think so.
I'm sorry. I'm new to this.
Right.
There was something blocking me. Something stopping it all.
Too bad.
But right before I was cut off, I saw two faces. Officer Colton and the girl. They were whispering together in a police car before the events that night. She warned him about what was going to happen. She was asking to be rescued. That she couldn't know if her plan to hurt the others was going to work. To be pulled from the circle. And then 3 other faces there that night. A mirror, all gaining extraordinary power.
Wow. That's real. That's what you saw?
I'm sorry, what? I feel lightheaded.
Have some water.
That's one explanation, I suppose. Or maybe their ghosts are just saying, yeah, Ruth. Who knows?
Hold on, y'all. I got a phone call. I'll be right back. Sorry about that. Great. And now the thing's acting up. There we go. So you said that cop and the officer girl. Whoa, not sure what these glitches are. Like I said, the functionality is glitchy. Funding for it was pulled halfway through development by Olympia. She's on some new... So guys, is everything okay? I've been off the grid on this, watching your investigation from afar. Our tech guys should just pull me in some weird activity going on your network. We're looking into it. They're all aligned. Don't let them get away with it. Each one will betray the other.
Demons, right?
I sensed there was an evil nearby, not demons necessarily. How close, I can't be certain.
So we did your song and dance. Now, what did the ghost tell you, Rube?
Demons, right?
I sensed there was an evil nearby, not demons necessarily. How close, I can't be certain. What exactly it was, I don't know. That could mean it or they were in the room, or the building, or somewhere else. I'm not that experienced with the process.
Well, it would have been nice to learn some names. Still, this makes some nice footage come to court time. Is this even admissible in court?
No, I don't think so.
I'm sorry.
Definitely not.
I'm new to this.
Right.
There was something blocking me. Something stopping it all.
Too bad.
But right before I was cut off, I saw two faces. Officer Colton and the girl. They were whispering together in a police car before the events that night. She warned him about what was going to happen. She was asking to be rescued. That she couldn't know if her plan to hurt the others was going to work. To be pulled from the circle. And then 3 other faces there that night. A mirror, all gaining extraordinary power.
Wow. That's real. That's what you saw?
I'm sorry, what? I feel lightheaded.
Have some water.
That's one explanation, I suppose. Or maybe their ghosts are just saying, yeah, Ruth. Who knows?
Why did I say Olive?
I've heard the rumors. Well, people thinking all sorts of nonsense occurs up there. Satanic rituals and other just nonsense. I suppose there's probably a hint of truth to it if you think about it. You and I have seen all sorts. All sorts. Doing their mischief up there. Arriving there in their caravans with their sigils of Baphomet patches and mall-bought trinkets, reciting a bunch of things they read on the internet. I'd like to know what percentage are really successful up there. You and I both know, not much. Lighting some candles, chanting some tired mumbo-jumbo. It's quite disrespectful to the site.
You're right, it is. And I think we can actually agree on something. But you may be contradicting yourself there accidentally. Each of those teenagers leaves a good amount of money in your store. You know, buying those bumper stickers and trinkets. Am I right?
I sell a window to another world, other worlds. How they choose to apply themselves with the knowledge they acquire is up to them.
Alright. Start writing this shit on my notepad. Just so I don't like That was Earth and Sands. So I'll just go backwards.
What exactly it was, I don't know. That could mean it or they were in the room. Or I'm not that experienced.
That would have been nice. Nice footage.
I'm new to this. Something's stopping it all.
Too bad.
But right before I was cut off, I saw two faces. Officer Colton and the girl. They were whispering together in a police car before the events that night. She warned him about what was going to happen. She was
I think about it, I should probably put Earth and Sands in there too.
I've heard the rumors. Well, people thinking all sorts of nonsense occurs up there. Satanic rituals and other just nonsense. I suppose there's probably a hint of truth to it if you think about it. You and I have seen all sorts. All sorts. Doing their mischief up there. Arriving there in their caravans with their sigils of Baphomet patches and mall-bought trinkets, reciting a bunch of things they read on the internet. I'd like to know what percentage are really successful up there. You and I both know, not much. Lighting some candles, chanting some tired mumbo-jumbo. It's quite disrespectful to the site.
You're right, it is. And I think we can actually agree on something. But you may be contradicting yourself there accidentally. Each of those teenagers leaves a good amount of money in your store. You know, buying those bumper stickers and trinkets. Am I right?
I sell a window to another world, other worlds. How they choose to apply themselves with the knowledge they acquire is up to them.
Oh, so look at this.
That line on the bumper sticker. I just recognized it. It's a saying, an old saying.
Care to elaborate? You can't remember your own friggin' name, but you can remember this.
Some things stick with you. I can't claim to know how memory works.
No, you can't.
Tell us more about this thing.
Yeah, dying to know.
You know, I don't remember much apart from that. It's part of a poem or a sonnet or something.
What the frick is a sonnet?
Sonnet.
So you see this thing on the bumper sticker of their car. Then what?
If they were really into it, and I think they were, because that line is too obscure for them to be fakers, then I feel like I should tell people to warn them. That thing is dangerous.
Warn them? Dangerous? What do you mean?
I found their car parked at their house after work.
You followed them?
They were easy to track down since the town's not too big. I mean, what they were getting mixed up in was above their heads. They looked like normal college kids, not even people into the occult or anything like that. Probably read some spell online and wanted to try it out, like a lot of people who come into this town. Only I knew from the saying that they had read the real stuff, and I was scared. For everyone.
What's scary about some kids making potions and playing witches?
It's real. 4 dead kids prove it.
So what were they doing?
Sounds like they were messing around with something that caught on fire and exploded.
Possibly, yeah. That line on the bumper sticker. I can't claim no points.
More about this thing. So you see this thing on the bumper.
That line is too obscure for them to be fakers. Then I feel like I should tell people.
You followed them?
They were easy to track down since the town's not too big. They looked like normal college kids, not even people into the occult or anything like that. Probably.
I didn't think about the cult. Oh. Alright, I think I've gone far enough as I need to for now. I'll probably just have to finish this tomorrow or some shit. But like always, I like to thank y'all for rocking with me, Foster Gamer. And with that, I catch y'all. Love y'all. And peace out.